seek and you will find.
Hey everyone, Clarkish here, welcome back to another video. Today I am back, and today I'll be talking to you guys as to why Death Perception is the worst perk within Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now let it be known, I made a similar video like this just all the way back on the launch of Black Ops 6 Zombies, but I was talking about Melee Macchiato, and the big jump between Melee Macchiato being the worst perk at that time to how Death Perception is right now within Black Ops 6 Zombies is actually a huge jump. So in this video I'll be talking about how Death Perception came to be, with its first introduction being in Black Ops 4 Zombies to where it is now within Black Ops 6 Zombies. But anyways guys, let's get right into it. So Death Perception first released within Black Ops 4 Zombies, and it was a perk that you unlocked as you leveled up, and the base perk ability was where you could see nearby enemies through walls, receive screen indicators when enemies approach the player from off screen. Now this was definitely helpful, and it is similar to Vulture where you could see all the mystery box locations, or where the mystery box was at that time, and all the perk locations throughout the walls of the map. But Death Perception was limited where you could only see zombies through the walls of the area that you were in. You couldn't see every zombie spawn throughout the map through every single wall. That would have been a bit too OP. But the perk was definitely helpful, as the outline and the colour of the zombies being bright orange throughout the walls was actually something nice to look at. It stood out, it was just good looking. And then as for the modifier upgrade within Black Ops 4 Zombies Death Perception, it says here, deal increased damage to special enemy weak points. Along with that, your weapon reload duration is decreased and the weapon reload speed is increased. So honestly, not, the biggest perk upgrade ever during that time, but it was definitely helpful. Not the best, not the worst, but helpful. So honestly, Black Ops 4's Death Perception was a W. And then the second iteration of Death Perception was back in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and Black Ops Cold War Zombies was the first introduction to upgrading perks, with its skill tree going to the max of tier 5. Now the base ability was the same like it was in Black Ops 4, but for the skill tier 1 upgrade of Death Perception, it says here the minimap update rate is increased. Now this was definitely helpful, as in Black Ops Cold War Zombies you didn't have the ability to turn off the minimap. But me personally, even though that did help for some people, including myself, when a zombie was stuck out the map on a round based map and I had to end the round, or I struggled to find something on the map and I had to use the minimap, it was definitely helpful. But the majority of the times when I played Black Ops Cold War Zombies, I just didn't focus my attention on the minimap hardly at all. So it's alright, not the best, not the worst, but it was okay, and I definitely understand as to why I was in that game, because you couldn't turn off the minimap. Now as for the skill tier 2 upgrade within Black Ops Cold War Zombies Death Perception, it says here enemies give danger indicators when behind the player. Now this was definitely helpful for people that potentially never had a headset, or a headset that died if you have batteries, or ones that need to recharge, or you just didn't have no sound at all. Death Perception's tier upgrade there was definitely helpful, but most players play with sound anyway, so it's not like the biggest deal on earth. As for the skill tier 3 upgrade of Black Ops Cold War Zombies Death Perception, this was actually a really helpful one, and it says here gain 20% more looted salvage and high grade salvage. Now I've already stated my opinions on the salvage system within Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I hated it to my absolute core, especially the high grade salvage and the amount that you received from zombies, which was to none. It was honestly garbage. Even though you obtained a lot of common graded salvage, it still wasn't enough, and with how much you had to spend not only for armor but for also the rarity system, especially the rarity system, it was actually ass. So honestly, that skill tier upgrade right there actually helped a lot with that issue. Now for the skill tier 4 upgrade, it says increase armor penetration damage by 25%. Now this definitely helped as well, as me personally, I don't see the point in armored zombies being in Black Ops Cold War Zombies in the other games that are Dark Ether story related. I just don't see the point in that. I get it, you want to make the game a bit more difficult, but there's just no point. Not only are you trying to damage the zombie by its base damage, but you're also trying to damage its armor as well, and I just think it's stupid. If those type of zombies were to come as it's just a basic design and had no armor penetration damage they had to deal to it at all, then that would have been fine. But the fact that you have to is annoying. But skill tier 4 upgrade for Death Perception definitely helped. For the skill tier 5 upgrade for Death Perception, it says here nearby chests, resources and item drops are keylined throughout the walls. Again, like Vulture said, this definitely helped. It didn't outline perks and stuff, but it definitely outlined stuff like chests that you would find in Outbreak, or potential items that you would find on the floor like equipment or potential perks. So all in all, Cold War's Death Perception is probably the best iteration of Death Perception we've seen throughout the whole of Death Perception's life cycle. But I will say skill tier 3 and skill tier 4 were definitely the best skill tiers within Death Perception within that game. So honestly, huge W to Black Ops Cold War's Death Perception. Now we get to the worst iteration of Death Perception, which is Modern Warfare Zombies. Now you gotta keep in mind, Modern Warfare Zombies had no perk augments, no skill tree upgrades, nothing like that. Just plain old perks. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure some upgrades were already included just within the base perks of Modern Warfare Zombies, but there wasn't like a grind factor like you would get in Black Ops 6 Zombies and Black Ops Cold War Zombies where you get new abilities for those said perks, and it kind of sucked. And the same applies for Death Perception, as the only ability for Death Perception in that game, at least I'm pretty sure, was the fact that you could see zombies through walls. Now, if this was, you know, how Black Ops Cold War Zombies and Black Ops 4 Zombies outlined work, you know, I would have appreciated more, but it's not. As I mentioned within Black Ops 4 Zombies, and this also applies for Cold War Zombies, the outlines of the zombies throughout the walls are bright orange and are actually good to look at. On top of that, the outlines really stand out. But within not only Modern Warfare Zombies, but in Black Ops 6, it is really darkened, and it really is not good to look at all, and it really doesn't help a lot compared to that of Cold War and Black Ops 4 Zombies. So honestly, huge L to Death Perception on that game. Now, as for Black Ops 6 Zombies, this is where we get into the nitty gritty of it here, because honest to god, there's really only one good augment, and you know, the basic perk ability, even though it's the exact same as Modern Warfare Zombies, not good looking and not really that helpful and not standing out like BO4 and Cold War, it's still helpful if you do pay attention to it. But again, the base perk ability is the exact same as the other ones, but in terms of the augments, the major augments here, you have Treasure Hunter, spot items others can miss from loot containers, as well as special elite kills. Now, this one is an instant L, because if others have missed out on an item drop, ping it. You can ping it for your teammates. You know, like, I don't get that. Like, why is that an augment? Then you've got Death Stare, which is your elemental weakness damage has a chance to kill an enemy that is on low health. I don't really get that one. Like, we need to get them to low health in order for that to work. It's just, I don't really understand why that's the case, but okay. And this is actually the best augment for Death Perception here, and it kind of reminds me of a fake card from Infinite Warfare Zombies, and it says here, a small chance that a body shot becomes a critical shot. Now, in order to obtain a critical shot, it has to be all headshots. So for a small chance for just a simple body shot to be a critical shot, is actually very helpful. So honestly, that augment right there is a W. But in terms of the minor augments, which this one makes no sense to me at all, the first one is the Bird Eye View, and it's the exact same as the Skill Tier 1 upgrade from Cold War, and it's that the map scan rate is increased. Now, for people that use the minimap, that's okay, it helps you, but what it doesn't make sense to me is that, unlike Cold War, it made more sense in Cold War because you couldn't turn the minimap off. Within this game, you actually can. You gotta keep in mind, before Cold War, we had years and years where we just did not have a minimap within Zombies. Black Ops 6 is reverting back to some of the classic systems, but also keeping some of the new and just having optional features. So I don't understand why there's an augment dedicated to the minimap where you could just turn it off. At that point, they could have gone rid of that augment and put in something better, and just at that point, add in a UAV score streak at that point. Like, I don't get that. And then this one is just more like, why is it in the game? You know, if you're really focused on points a lot, I guess this helps, but not a lot. And it's the extra change augment, where if you find extra essence under some locations, which I'm going to guess it means wherever you go prone underneath perk locations, or you find little essence, you know, you could get more change from it than your basic 100 or 50 points. But still, it's not going to change that much, you know, unless you have a double points, which, you know, you're not guaranteed the double points for the rest of the game unless you do the Tyrannus permanent double points Easter egg. It's just, I don't see the point in that. And in this one, you know, this one I actually do appreciate, because this is something that Black Ops 4 or Cold War actually didn't have. And you know, it's not the best augment, it's not the worst, but it actually is helpful, and it's the final minor augment, and it's increased the perception radius, which basically allows you to see zombies throughout walls further and further out compared to how it was within Black Ops 4 Cold War Zombies. If I'm wrong in that, let me know in the comment section down below, but that is helpful if that's the case. But the biggest thing is that the outline and how the zombies look throughout the walls within Black Ops 6 actually suck. They literally look like doo-doo. They look like poo-poo. So honestly, if Treyarch buffed Death Perception where it looked like Black Ops 4's and Black Ops Cold War's zombies outline looked whenever you had Death Perception in those two games, and apply that to Black Ops 6, honestly, I would appreciate Death Perception more. Not only would that make the last minor augment better, but it would just make Death Perception just a tiny tiny bit better. Not a lot, but a tiny bit better. And then of course, as I'm recording this video, the thing I notice is that the biggest L with us is some of the augments. Of course, like the treasure hunter one, definitely get that one the hell out of there. They could have made it where you could have gone increased armor penetration damage by 25% or something. Like that tier upgrade in Cold War was absolutely amazing. So why is it not in Black Ops 6 zombies? I get it, you want to make the game harder, but a lot of people have been complaining about armored zombies within Black Ops 6 zombies. So honestly, you can keep them in the game, but this would definitely help that issue a lot. It wouldn't resolve it, but would definitely ease people's complaints a bit more. And then on top of that, there is a shit ton more ways to get salvage in this game compared to that of Cold War. So honestly, the skill tier 3 would have been nice as well, but the fact that we don't have it, I'm not personally complaining really. But aside from that, you literally have two great skill tier upgrades from Cold War that you literally could have added in and replaced with the treasure hunter augment or the bird's eye view augment, hell, even the extra change augment. I just think death perception was a missed opportunity, as I personally really liked it how it worked in Cold War, and that they could have made it so much better in this game, especially with how the augment system worked, but they didn't, and it's a disappointment. But did they have to bring death perception back? No. Again, I've said this many times in a bunch of my streams whenever I was playing Black Ops 6 Zombies, that as long as they bring back a perk that is completely new, or a perk we haven't seen in ages, in this game it was Vulture, which I was totally fine with, and I love Vulture in that game, and they'd at least bring back one perk that we've seen in the previous 4 games, you know, I'd be okay with it. But not to the extent where it's this fucking bad. Like, come on. Honestly, they could have made the base perk ability for death perception as an augment of Vulture's Age within Black Ops 6 Zombies. Why do I say that? Because they've done this with other perks. The biggest one is that Cherry Fizz is actually Electric Cherry from the other games as an upgrade and as an augment with Elemental Pop. And this definitely would have saved Treyarch, you know, time, and could have added in a better perk being Mule Kick. I definitely think Mule Kick would have been the best choice out of the 3 perks, being Death Perception, Tombstone, or in this case the perk I wanted, Mule Kick. So why? Or even then, add in a new perk. So honestly, especially with how Vulture's Age's originality was at the fact that you could see, you know, the perks and the mystery box locations through walls and stuff, that would have been so much better, and it would have made so much sense. So missed opportunity, I think. Now, I did ask your guys' thoughts on Twitter on what you guys think about death perception within Black Ops 6 Zombies, and this is what you guys said. We've got one from Mr. L, and he says, just gotta reply with my tweets and let you do the math on this one. But seriously, just look at these images and tell me Black Ops 6 death perception needs a serious buff. 100%. And like he's saying, he's definitely talking about the outlines and how the zombies glow a lot more within Black Ops 4 and within Black Ops Core Zombies compared to that of Black Ops 6 Zombies. That definitely needs a serious buff. So 100% agree with you on that one. We got one from Elusives, and Elusive says, kinda pointless considering now we have Vulture's Age. Why not bring in some custom perks like the Point Crusher perk to help out with earning more points? Because the point system is pretty bad. Treyarch should really take some inspiration from the modding community. This comment right here absolutely screams and makes me hate the extra change augment even more. Could you imagine if that extra change augment made it so you actually earned more points from getting headshots with that augment and with that perk compared to how you get it now without that perk, instead of just that augment being it so you go under perk machines and collecting more points? Like, that would have been so much better. It would have improved the point system by not a shit ton more, but a lot more, especially with how the point system isn't the best in this game. It's literally a D grade from BO4, a D grade from Cold War, and Modern Warfare Zombies, at least I'm pretty sure, is the exact same point system as it is in Black Ops 6. It's not the biggest D grade, it's only minus 15 points, but still, it's a D grade. Why are we stepping backwards? We got one from Mackler Games, and he says, the most useless perk ever made. Sorry, but the truth hurts. And you know what? Out of all the perks right now, it's definitely the most useless perk, especially with how the outlines work, how the zombies really don't glow that much, and then of course there only being really 2 good augments within that perk. I just don't get it. And then we got Too Bad for Xbox saying, I'd rather wash my ass with a can of death perception than drink that shit. I think you're not the only one who feels that way. And then we got one from Flamer, and Flamer says, Death Stare is great, and extra change is great for when you need that extra 100 points. Also, the free ray gun Easter egg because of it makes it worthwhile. I'm going to 100% disagree. Again, like the points I mentioned with Death Stare and extra change, it doesn't make that big of a difference. In Death Stare, I just don't really see the point in it personally, especially how, and shout out to Donuts for this, there is a clip where it actually glitches out the Patient 13 boss fight. Take a look at this. Like, that is just wild to me. Then we got one from Rayguns, and Raygun says it has one good augment allowing you to rarely get a critical shot from a simple body shot, but it's quite literally a waste of perk slot in my opinion. And you know what? It quite literally is a waste of a perk slot. Aside from the two augments that I personally think that are good, and then of course the base ability, even though it's shit, it's still somewhat helpful. It definitely is a waste of a perk slot, which is honestly disappointing. We got one from Code 6 Beluga, and he says, I don't see a reason why it was added or needed to be added. It's a waste of points at all stages of the game, besides when you have nothing else to spend them on. Again, like Ray Guz's comment, my response is the exact same to this one. So 100% agree. We got one from Generation Rye, and he says, other than the crit modifier, it's pretty much a wasted perk slot. The vision effects can be acquired by tuning on the visual accessibility color options in game LMAO, and they work better. Now, I didn't know that personally, but I doubt it changes a lot compared to that of how the outlines look in Black Ops 4 and Cold War. But aside from that, I agree with the rest of this comment. We got one from Nova V2, and he says, the worst thing is the main ability of the perk. It's literally just a worse version of the high contrast mode setting. You're already able to make zombies more visible without needing to spend 2,500 points, and it's just made even worse with augments that are near worthless. Now again, I do only think 2 of the 6 augments are good, but if that's the case, then what's the point in the high contrast mode? Because me personally, I don't play in high contrast, so honestly, they just see a buff the outlines like how they done it with BO4 and Cold War. Is Death Perception in Black Ops 6 Zombies the worst iteration of Death Perception? Absolutely not. Modern Warfare Zombies takes the crown of being the worst iteration of Death Perception ever, especially with it having no upgrades at all. But is it the worst perk within Black Ops 6 Zombies? 100%, unfortunately, yes. Death Perception had much more potential, but I definitely think if they added in the base ability within Vulture's Aid, I think a lot of people would understand that not only does that make sense, but also give Treyarch to add in potentially Mule Kick, which would have been more helpful, or potentially a new perk. But I don't know, that's just me. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below how do you guys feel about Death Perception, specifically within Black Ops 6 Zombies, and what could they do to improve the perk later in the future if they decide to change it. But guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all within the next video or live stream. And goodbye.